Welcome to Takes Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, or professional development. As a recording time of 9:33 a.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum coin traded $3,072, that's about 3.63% so far. As you can see clearly on the overall crypto market and the equity market, we're kind of a mixed bag at the moment, with some selective altcoin a little bit more prominently up than others, but collectively speaking, the majority of the coins and on the equity side is relatively kind of flat to down at the moment. So what's driving this stir, right? We have a relatively kind of a mixed type of a macro affectation across the board today. So in a chronological order, the first one that came out is coming out from the Commerce Department of the United States, right? So with respect to the consumer spending statistics that came out earlier this morning, it seems like the retail sales increased by 3.8% in January, which is well ahead of the 2.1% estimates and much better than the 2.5% decline in December. If you look at the number more specifically on online shopping and furniture sales as well, it boosts that number as well, while sporting goods and gasoline sales totals declined. Right, and with respect to these numbers, on a high level perspective, right, just to take that as a more of a what is the key rationale and the key thesis around these numbers is basically that despite the inflationary pressure with higher price that it demands towards consumer, retail sales still surge higher than expectation. So that's a good sign, right? And as that happened, the 10-year yield, right, which is the treasury yield that triangulates for the interest rate, dips, and subsequently the interest rate dips as well for the right reason, right? So that was definitely a positive signal. However, this positive signal is being mixed with the negative signal, right? And this is more of a non-confirmatory signal. And again, right, this is more developmental news around the Russian-Ukraine war. Okay, so per our depiction yesterday, we understood that based on media affectation, again, right, that we're being fed by the publication companies that seems like the war was slowly simmering down, right? The troops are being pulled back into their respective garrisons, shaving down from 100,000 troops at the Ukraine border to somewhere around like 60, right? But seems like based on recent media affectation, I'm saying really recent, this came out as of like 4:49 a.m. on the Eastern Time, so when I was still dead asleep. It seems like the NATO accused Russia for increasing its troops counts at the Ukraine border a day after Moscow claimed that it has begun withdrawing some of the military units. So it seems like there's some discrepancy with respect to what the media is telling us versus what Russia is actually doing, right? And it seems like based on the NATO chief, Jens Stoltenberg, said on Wednesday this morning, literally, it appears that Russia continues their military buildup at the border. So this is something that they're saying. So it seems like they have not shaved down the troops, right, from 100,000 to 60. They actually have been building up. So it seems like the war is still cultivating. It's not has not subsided, right? Despite obviously what we heard that there was some sort of like a discussion or like a meeting between the president of Russia versus in between president of Russia and the president of Ukraine being hosted by the chancellor from Germany to have a more of a diplomatic conversation, right? It seems like nothing has been solved so far, right? And this is really interesting because this is such a classic way of media manipulations. There are a lot of mixed signal that's being percolated among the publication companies. We don't know which one is the truth, which one is not the truth. But despite if this is the truth or not the truth, ultimately we do not have, the first-hand observation of what's really happening, right? Unless you live in this country, or unless you're in the military force, or unless you are one of the political figure that controls this specific dynamic, right? But obviously a negative news being mixed with a positive news on this sales number that came out from the U.S. Commerce Department, driving the current negative affectation among the market, right? So definitely interesting one, a mixed day, definitely. We are currently market open about 8 minutes out right now. It seems like based on the trends right now, we are sliding down from the previous resistance level, right? So let's just dive into the technical analysis without wasting more time. Obviously, two news that are driving on a macro front. One, again, the Russian one, which is a negative one. The other one is the sales number, which is a positive one. So net neutral, but obviously the Ukraine-Russian war has a little bit more of a higher factor, right? It's more in, if you prioritize the factors on a macro market perspective, the war is definitely outweighs the inflation number, in a global sense, right? So let's just dive into technical analysis with respect to recording time of approximately 9:40 a.m. on the Eastern time. Ethereum could trade $3,071, about 3.68% so far. We broke down below from 3,150, so we're gliding back down to ideally the 3,050, right, which is the next consolidated level we have tested before, right? If we break the current level, we have a high propensity to go back down to the 2,853. That's just a natural course of cadence, right? It seems like right now we are already dipping. We have two dips, right? One dip and then second dip. We're at the 53 out of 70. At the same time, it seems like the MACD is already curving down. So I think 2,850 is definitely coming based on the current setup right now. I think if the war breaks out, which based on what we see again is more media manipulations, increasing the troops definitely does not convey a positive signal at all, right? So if the war, progressively breaks out or gets worsened from here, breaking down to 2,850 would be a first level, but potentially even crashing to the 2,621 all the way to 2,140, depending on how severe it is, right? We've seen that red candle before, so to see that in history, to repeat itself again, can be possible and logical because this is a relatively seismic type of news, right? Respect to Bitcoin at about 2%. We're basically levitating around the current level of 44. If we break the current level, which I believe we will, have a more high propensity to go down to the 42 as a first level. But I think 40 is even more possible because with the 50 out of 70. So we have a relatively sizable leap down. And again, right, if the war breaks out, I think 37 to 34 is a good frame that will go down to naturally. And I think those would be buying opportunities for us. Respect to Dogecoin, down about 3%. We're at the 1472 right now. I like anywhere from basically 1387 to 12 cents from here. Cardano is down about 3%, 102 to 92 from here. I think right now it's at okay level at the 45 of 70. Solana is basically 100. We just broke 199.7 right now. I ideally want to buy at anywhere from 95 all the way to 80. Right now at the 43 of 70. So not the best level, but it's okay, tolerable. XRP is at 81 right now, 81 cents obviously, and you could see that this seems like it's not a cup and handle that was completed, so this seems like it's probably a bull trap based on what I see so far, right? This is not really a good setup, and whatever goes up really fast comes down just as fast, so we are still relatively overbought at 57 out of 70, curving down right now, so I would not touch this to save your life right now. I would buy this probably at 61 all the way to 57 from here. Polkadot is down about close to 4% right now at $19.22. Anywhere from basically 18 all the way to 15.87 still logical. ALGORAND is down about close to 3%, up about 3% right now. You could see that clearly with the 43 out of 70, so not the most oversold or overbought with the neutral level. I like anywhere from, again, right, basically 90 to 79 from here. So right now it's okay level, not the best level to enter yet. Shiba Inu is at the 3,000 again, right, low 2,000s, 1,400 to 900 from here, based on the frames that we have dated back in October 2021. MACD about 5%. You could see that clearly this is a head and shoulder. This is a head, shoulder. So that means a sell is imminent, especially with the 50 out of 70 curving down on the MACD front. 143 to 120 is definitely the better level to incur risk. I would not touch this to save your life right now. AVAX flat at the moment. I don't really like this, but this seems like as a cup and handle that's formed with a 60 out of 70. So I don't really suggest buying in right now. I would even suggest selling if you bought in earlier in the past. 59 to 50 would still be a level I would be buying at. Luna is 56 right now. Again, we're 62, 52 to 45. So basically $4 above the 52. Right now it's the 47 out of 70, so not the best. So I'll just, again, right, 52 to 45 are still better level for us, right? So overall market is relatively mixed, right? It seems like the investors, globally are slowly digesting and assessing the geopolitical risk with respect to Russia and Ukraine war that seems like it's cultivating and seems like it's worsening based on media affectation. And with respect to obviously how the Fed's going to triangulate with the recent consumer spending number that just came out this morning. There's a positive one, right? So positive one, negative one, net, but the negative one is most severe. So net, I would say we're negative today. That's why we're seeing the sell-off that we're seeing in front of us right now. So hopefully this is helpful in terms of my high-level depictions, and let me know if you have questions, and take care.